Hey guys, Awkward Hybrid here. Okay, I really gotta keep this quick, because it's almost 10 o'clock at night right now, and I've been postponing this all day due to the fact that I have family over and all that stuff. So, Star Wars review, 8.5 out of 10. I'll start off with the things that I didn't like so much, and... Okay, oh yeah, I forgot to say, this is gonna be chock full of spoilers, so if you're really trying to keep this under wraps for yourself, then I recommend not, watching this if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want anything to be ruined for you. Anyway, let's start this. Sorry. The CGI, very good in some places, a little lackluster in other places. Like, there's this one character, I forget her name, but she's run this cantina-like bar for about 1,000 years, and apparently she and Chewbacca are dating. Like she walks up to Han Solo and is like, "Where's my boyfriend?" And yeah. Like, she, for the most part, looks really realistic. Like, it's amazing. But then there's also these squid-like creatures who start chasing after Rey and Poe and Han and Chewie, and then yeah, that's a little more downplayed. Like, it's a really fast creature, but it's not so fast that you can't see it. It's just fast enough where it's sort of like you can see the creature. Like, if you try to pause it, it would probably be a little blurry, but that's about it. The CGI is not as good there. Maybe it's because the Lucasfilms thought we might not notice, but yeah. Another part that I didn't necessarily like was, at first, was Kylo Ren. Now, why didn't I like this? Now, at first, this guy looks like angry on a whim, and by this guy, Kylo Ren's character, the one with the St. Peter's Cross lightsaber, yeah, that, and, of course, he takes off the mask, because Rey prompts him to, and you get Kylo Ren's face, and not exactly the, will kill you on a whim sort of face. Like, I've nicknamed him Darth Tantrum because of it. But yeah, again, this is what I thought about it at first. When I actually thought about it, my later thoughts were like, yeah, this guy's supposed to be Anakin 2.0, because... I was going to say Hans Christian Andersen, but that's not the guy. He's the one who played Anakin in the prequels. That's who Kylo Ren is supposed to be. More successful, but it really, you need to think about it at first. Because I saw the movie twice. And yeah, the first time I was like, oh, here comes Darth Tantrum. And then later, of course, I don't know, saw Jeremy John's video on it, and then I saw the second time round on Saturday, and I was like, oh yeah, this actually is a lot better. Okay, yeah, sorry, my chair's a little squeaky right now. But again, there weren't that many things I didn't like about it. Yeah, there's also this fan theory that, Luke, that Rey is Luke's daughter, and that, I don't know, because you never see him have, romantic interests that stick. Yeah, Luke and Leia, they made out that one time, but then they're siblings. So that's something for you. So, you don't see him, long-term romantic partners, and especially so, because he's a Jedi, and Jedi can't fall in love, and, you'd think someone who's supposed to master his emotions would have that, but, who's to say? And there are other fan theories that also Luke is, and by other fan theories being game theory, that Luke is gonna be evil in the subsequent films. In the final shot, he doesn't even say a word, and he gets, $5 million anyway. In the final shot of the movie, where he's, climbing up this mountain, an island That's probably somewhere in Scotland or whatever. And then there's a guy in a gray cloak sitting there. Or not, well, standing there off in the distance. And then, of course, he turns around, and then there's Mark Hamill. And I didn't recognize him at first. Like, when I went home and started looking up looking up images, because this is how you type, I was like, oh my gosh, that is supposed to be Luke Skywalker. But when I saw it a second time, now, the first time I saw the movie, everyone was just dead silent. Like, no one would say a word, because no one's gonna interrupt this movie. I mean, except for my 8-year-old brother who tagged along, but I'll talk about that later in the video. But in the second time, there was a lot more applause. Like, people were, this was a different theater, but people were applauding when the Star Wars main theme came up, when the Millennium Falcon was revealed, when Han Solo and Chewbacca came back, when you saw C-3PO, when you saw Leia, everything, even Akbar. But when Mark Hamill showed up, it was just like, is that Luke? Who is he? Oh, the end credits! Basically like that. And I wanted to clap, but with everyone silent, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. There's this other scene that I liked, that I didn't get at first, but second viewing, a lot better. It's basically Kylo Ren's like Rey is like from the edge of the cliff thing, and then, you know, Rey's like pushing up against her, because like there's like their lightsabers are connected, and she's like being pushed backwards, and then Kylo, or Ben Solo, whoever you want to call, and I mean, that's his character's name. Ben Solo / Kylo Ren is, like, pushing up against her, and he's like, you know, I can teach you in the ways of the Force. And then, of course, she just slowly, like, calms down, you know, tries to sort things out, and then just starts decking it. Just dunks him. Get wrecked, mate. And, of course, you know, from what I've heard, and, I mean, Tumblr, for the matter, people are getting pissed off because of, like, Mary Sue. Yeah, well, let's be honest. Luke Skywalker, in the first 3 films, he wasn't surviving his whole life. He was a farmer. Rey had been defending herself with the bow staff for a very long time, since she was a young child. So, and yeah, she's also training to become a Jedi. So naturally, she would just be like, okay, I need to get my Jedi mindset going, remove the fear. And what I saw in my second viewing, the CG in that scene, or even if, like, I thought it was realistic. Like, you could see the gloss on her teeth, because her mouth is slightly open, while she's, like, everything's calm, and for some reason, Kylo Ren isn't taking advantage of the situation, and then, yeah, just wrecks him. Just get wrecked, mate. Get wrecked. Yeah, and, this is gonna be a minor spoiler. No Jar Jar Binks. No Jar Jar Binks at all. Now, okay, this is a different scene that I'm going to talk about. Yes, I am holding off the biggest spoiler of the movie, but this is another scene. In my 2 subsequent, you know, viewings, like, in the first one, when I said it was dead silent, I don't include jokes, because naturally some people would be laughing at that. And the scene that got the most laughs was when, like, Finn is, like, of course, trying to, like, keep a secret with the BB-8 droid, you know, the ball droid, that one. Yeah, he, of course, like, Rey's, like, underneath the decks or whatever, trying to fix some gears, and it's like, so where's the Rebellion base? And, of course, BB-8 has some important info for the Rebellion, and Finn is supposed to be a Star Trooper who's posing as a Rebellion, well, as a part of the Rebellion, as one of the rebels. And no, this is not set up for the liar revealed thing. It's not that storyline, don't worry. And of course, when of course BB-8 lets out the series of beeps, and it's like, oh, the Emilian, I don't remember the name of it, but he says the name, and it's like, oh, that's where your location is? Finn turns around and gives a thumbs up, and I don't know if I want to, because a lot of countries, like, the thumbs up is like a rude symbol, but anyway. What got the most laughs was when the BB-8 droid flicks out a lighter to imitate a thumbs up. Yeah, both times I saw that, that was the biggest laugh. Like, that was the funniest thing. Yeah, okay, I got 5 minutes left. I'm just gonna talk about it anyway. 3, 2, 1. Han Solo dies. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think that Harrison Ford would want to continue on with the films anyway. He seems like a really grumpy old man who's just ready for death. But yeah, it happens, and Kylo Ren is Ben Solo, in case you haven't guessed, is Han Solo's son. And of course, the two meet up in, like, their base or whatever on this snow planet, which isn't Hoth. I just forgot the title of it, unfortunately, but it ain't Hoth. There's actual trees. Of course, there's this, like, long bridge with no barriers, just a very long bridge from this bottomless hole, because, when you got Star Wars, you're gonna need bottomless holes. And of course, Han shouts, "Ben!" And then he turns around, and of course, everything... It doesn't go necessarily silent, but there isn't too much talking either. Like, Han's trying to communicate with his son, like, please, come back to us, because they have the idea that Ben is still gonna be safe, that they can make him good again. And of course, Ben starts to, like, tear up a bit, and it's like, I'm being torn apart. And of course, he reaches out his little lightsaber, and then Han, like, holds onto it as well. And of course, like, what's gonna happen. Han is gonna die. But even then, he's like, but please, don't make it happen. Don't make it happen. And they hold on it for just long enough that it isn't comedic, but if they held it any longer, then yeah, it would have been funny. But anyway, the scene happens. Kylo Ren turns on the lightsaber, impaling his dad right through the chest. And Rey just shouts, "No!" And then Chewbacca, like, who was there, also sees it, and he starts screaming as well. And then it all goes silent, and you don't see the wound. Any subsequent shots is, like, from the shoulder up for Han, and he's still standing there. It was, like, where his heart should be, and he's still standing there. It's not like he's frozen. He lifts up his hand, and he puts it on his son's face. Not in the Jeremy Johnson who says, oh, he grazed his son's face. No, like, he holds it there. He doesn't slap him. He just holds his hands on his face and just looks at his son, who is maskless, for one last time, and then he falls into the pit below. And what really made it, I teared up. I was tearing up at that scene. And it was especially because of Chewbacca's cries, because... Imagine your best friend for 40-something years just died right in front of you. You would be pissed. No, I'm not crying right now, but I want to. That was Star Wars. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Again, I'm not crying, it's just cold. And I think I might be getting a cold. Okay, if you liked this big ol' review, I don't know, leave a like if you want. No, I'm not forcing you to. Maybe subscribe, and by maybe, I mean please. I wish I could play Jedi mind tricks, but I can't. I just can't. I don't know, again, if you want to, and... I upload videos on the 14th and 18th of every month with the occasional exception. And I shall see you next time. Take care.